And welcome back to the Burn Bootcamp podcast, everybody. And again, another crazy awesome episode because we get to interview one of our Athlete Games winners from the first ever Women's Masters Division, Leslie Eddy,
Yes.
2022. Let's go.
Let's go.
Burn Bootcamp Elizabeth trainer, as well as Gabby, who has also been on the podcast, interviewed as a winner for the Women's Standard Division. So
That's right.
It's amazing that both of you two took it home from Elizabeth, and I'm excited to dive into the interview today.
I'm excited too.
Thank you for being here. So tell us about your story, about your background, and lead us right up to the point where you meet Burn and then through you becoming a trainer.
Okay, so I have not always been into fitness, actually. So when I got married, my husband and I would always go work out together. Every morning we would go to like a local box gym, just do our thing. He would lead us through like a strength workout, and we did like a touch of cardio. So we had that routine for a while. Then once we had kids, at that point, it was hard to obviously work out together anymore because somebody had to stay home with the kids. And I kind of fell off and did not work out. Mm-hmm. So, and I kind of just, I don't know, stayed stagnant, and I was looking for something, and I just had a hard time doing it on my own. So a friend told me about Burn. This was way back when. This is May 2014, 2014. And it's when we did a 30-day trial.
Okay.
So back in the day, before Burn franchised.
Yes.
So just opening up another location in town. So did the 30-day trial, signed up for it, went in, and was hooked immediately. So loved the workout, 45-minute, efficient, effective workout. Got a great full body workout by the end of the week. Good mix of strength and conditioning, and yeah, I loved it. And so
You were hooked. We got you right away.
Hooked, yep, got me right away.
Who started that? You said, was that the, because before we started Burn,
Yep.
in the brick and mortars, we had like the sublease
Yes.
parking lot /
So
gymnastics
we
centers,
were over
rec
in
studios.
Carolina Flips.
Oh, yeah.
Gymnastics studio.
Pineville.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that was actually, I first met
Well,
Lindsay Key.
Arrowhead Road.
Yes,
Right,
that's it.
yeah.
Lindsay Key
Okay.
was one of my first trainers.
Now Lindsay Gilbert.
Yeah, Lindsay Gilbert now over in Raleigh. So she was awesome,
Yeah.
Instrumental, really big
Okay.
like, impact on me.
Awesome.
Loved
Do you guys
her.
keep in touch?
Yes, we still do.
Awesome.
Still keep in touch.
That's great.
And yeah, so I stuck with Burn, never looked back. Then I was over at the Pineville location. Patrick Hartman was a trainer, which I know you met in Naples. So he was awesome. And then we moved, and then I started at Elizabeth about 5 months after they opened.
Okay.
Got to know Kyle and Lindsay, and just had been a member there for a long time. They had approached me about becoming a trainer. At the time, it just wasn't the right timing for me. My kids were little. It wasn't the right timing for my family, but the seed was planted. And then a few
Thought about it like,
Yeah. Yep.
maybe
I was all
could
about
do
it,
that.
but I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, okay. When the time is right,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. And then a couple years later, Lindsay's like, all right, when are we doing this? And I was like, all right, let's go.
You're
So,
ready for it. Yeah. So I want to just give everybody like a clarity on kind of like what happened in 2014.
Okay.
Because we both went through that really fast. Okay.
Yes,
so
we did.
So we started here in Huntersville. Okay.
Yes.
And then we went up to Mooresville, which is north, and we did a rec center.
That's right.
And then right down here from the street, down the street from headquarters, there's a church called Elevation Church. It used to be a music theater, and it was abandoned, and then a dance studio rented it out, and we rented it out from the dance studio.
Okay.
And those were like the first ones in this area, and then we went another gymnastics center
Yes,
down to Pineville, which was in South Charlotte.
that's right.
You were there, so you remember the rusty dumbbells and the
I do.
banners on the wall and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Okay. And then we opened in 2015. We turned all of them into a brick and mortar. At the same time we were doing that, Lindsay Bushnell and at the time Kyle Lane together opened the Elizabeth location.
That's right.
And that leads us to you. Is that correct? Am I following
That's
you
correct.
correctly? Okay,
Yeah,
I got
that's
it.
correct.
Okay, I got it. It was complicated how he got started. It wasn't like
Right.
some traditional like way that you don't
Yeah.
open a business. So
It's
I
been
wanted
really
clarify.
neat to be a part of it, for
Yeah,
that
that's what I was
long
gonna
and
say,
kind
like-
of see the brand and the business grow.
You've seen it evolve. You've seen Athlete Games evolve. Obviously,
Yes.
you've seen every version of it. What sticks out to you the most in the evolution of it?
Of Burn.
Yeah, or just like Athlete Games in general. What
Oh,
attracted you
gosh.
to it? Why did you,
Well-
jump into training and then jump into like some of the most elite competition out
Yeah.
there?
Well, I enjoyed, one of my favorite things about Burn was being challenged. So I loved that they kind of pushed me past what I thought I was capable of. and realized I could do it. So I always loved being challenged. And once I became a trainer, I just missed the cutoff of competing in the first Burn Athlete Games, or not the first Burn Athlete Games, but the games that year. So that was 2019. Gabby was competing that year, so I went to go support her in Raleigh. And just the experience was electrifying. It was so awesome to watch these trainers. I mean, they were pushing themselves to their limits, and that was super inspiring. And then just to see the community come together, it was just an awesome event. And I was like, I want to do that next year. So 2020 comes along, and I sign up, go in full out, like just training hard. I trained with Gabby, I trained with one of our trainers, Robin, and we worked hard on it every single day. So went for it in 2020, didn't quite make it to finals. That was the year of the 400 doubles, and that got me too. So those doubles, man.
Yeah, 400, yeah. No joke.
400, yeah. And funny enough, that was like an event I looked forward to, but I could not get the cadence of my rope that year. And I think I panicked, and I kept being like, and I kept tripping.
Well, doubles are a power move, and not a lot of people understand that. So, so when the athlete games, the basis of it, it's all really hardcore, short, 5 to maybe 15-minute routines that we put together, all based on power.
That's right.
Right, and jump rope itself, especially double unders, is actually a power movement. And so if you're doing all those like overhead presses for time and snatches and all that stuff, your shoulders are done and you have nothing left.
Yes.
And 400 is like, it's a taxing amount.
Yes. But it was such a great experience, and I said, all right, I'm coming back next year. So 2021 rolls around. I was like, all right, this is my year. I'm going to do it. And didn't quite make it through the next year to finals, but it was such an incredible experience. I always gained something every single year, got a little bit stronger, and knew kind of where my weaknesses were and where I just needed to hone in and work a little bit harder each year. So loved it. Then 2022 comes along, and I'm like, all right, going for it again. I'm going to get there this year. And then that Masters division was announced. So, so that was a surprising
What went through your head when we were like, okay, you guys, we're going 2 divisions now? Were you like, did it step up your intensity? Were you like, okay, now I know I can win this thing? Or were you disappointed because you wanted to chase the other one? Or a mixture of both?
There was a little bit of a mixture of both, because my goal for the past 3 years was like, make it to the top 16. And I really was like, I feel like I can do it here in the standard division. However, opening up the Masters division kind of made me kind of set a larger goal of not only trying to make it to the top 16, but maybe going in and trying to win the whole thing. So, and then, talking it over with Gabs, we were like, oh, that would be so cool to take it home together. So we were all about that. And
bring the crowns to the Queen City.
That's right.
Let's
that's
go.
right. So, I was excited about the Masters division. It took me, I think it just surprised me.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting this. And, I appreciate it because Burn Athlete Games has evolved over the years. It's only gotten bigger and better, and it's gotten more competitive year after year. And so, obviously, as it gets bigger and better, it gets more competitive. That age gap's getting a little bit bigger. Like, we're only getting older, right? And we've got new athletes coming in that are young. They're in their prime or close to their prime, which just makes it a little harder for us to get there in the top 16. But not that we can't do it, because we've got a lot of beast mode athletes out there.
For sure.
So, yeah.
I found the prime is right in that pocket. It depends on your genetics, but right in that pocket between like 27 and 32.
Really,
Some people really can, because with fitness, it's like time helps.
Right.
Because you get to build muscle over time, you get to build endurance, but
Sure.
then there's that tipping point of where, which we think is about really at the end of the day, 38, 39, 40, where your athletic ability you just start, we get old.
Right.
We get
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm in this, should I, if I were to compete, it's like I'd be the old man in the young division, and the young man in the old division.
Yes.
Which is a weird place to be.
Yeah.
So we might have to have more in the future.
Okay.
We might have to have more in the future, which makes it even more hyper competitive, because more people, when there's more divisions, tend to, at least from our estimation, be excited about it.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
there's more of a prospect to win, I guess.
That's right.
So you win this year. Okay,
Yes.
take me through the last workout. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, I want to talk about the very last workout. So if
Okay.
this question is the same, then so be it. But what was the moment, in the finals where it was the hardest for you mentally? The moment where, like, zoom us into like what was going through your head when you were like, I don't know, this is tough. I don't know if I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I have it on this one. This one's a tough one. I need to do something.
Gosh, well, I needed to take each workout one at a time. I think day one, I was the smokestack, and I felt really confident about that workout.
Explain that so people at home
So-
understand what that is. You
Gosh,
can
I
remember.
gotta think back to it. So I think it was it 6 exercises? I'm not sure. 6 exercises. You are stacking on the exercises, but the first exercise always bumps to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So we started with, I believe it was 10 presses. Then we went to 20 push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Then you did. Honestly, I don't remember.
10 presses, 20 push-ups,
Push-ups.
goblet squats,
swings,
30 swings,
30 swings.
and then you started over. And then you
Yes.
finished with goblet squats,
right.
I think. 40.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
We have all the games somewhere.
I think I even have the numbers wrong. I don't remember.
Okay, anyways,
but
anyways, not important, not important.
Not important. But I was excited about that workout and felt like I did really strong. But man, we had some great competitors. I think I finished 3rd in that first event. So I was like, oh, I gotta make sure we're working hard. I really want to stay at the top the entire weekend. And I felt good about it, but obviously I wanted to keep progressing and getting a little bit placing a little higher as each workout went on. Mm-hmm. So that one, I didn't finish quite as strong as I wanted to. I think everyone, I was like, oh, I would love to finish at the very top, but that's okay. So then going into the second workout, I honestly, here's my struggle was settling in. I think the adrenaline got to me over the weekend. Mm-hmm. And so just not knowing how to kind of settle in and control just my nerves.
What did that cause? Like a anxious anticipation
Yes.
to like go fast all the time? I was talking to Jose, and Jose, that was part of his strategy was like in the previous games, he felt like the game was so fast. Like everything
Yes.
was going so fast all the time. And his whole strategy was like practice and then pace against your practice. So like when you do these workouts, smokestack, you do them for time and then you pace yourself against your time. You don't pace yourself against other people.
That's right.
Because a lot of times other people are anxious too.
Right.
Right. And then you feed off of that. So like what was your strategy? What was your preparation, going into these workouts, especially like leading up to the finals, because you and Gabby were together.
Right.
You guys were at Elizabeth training together. Also, Katie Burke was a member of the finals that was training with you too, correct?
Yes, she came and trained
Tell me
with
about
us.
what that training regimen was like. What did you do with your nutrition? Anything specific?
We would try to, well, as far as training goes, we would go through the workouts and just kind of, first we felt them out. Like we were like, no pressure, just feel out the workout. And then we kind of see where are our strengths and weaknesses in this workout. Like what are the exercises we really need to focus in, hone in on, get a little bit better. Then we would just incorporate those into our own Metcon workouts. So sometimes we do some partner challenges, we would do some EMOMs, anything to get a little bit stronger, a little bit faster
Right.
as the workouts went on. Then we would do mock days of the actual event or event weekend. So we would do, for instance, for finals, we would do day 1 all on Saturday.
Were you guys competing with each other in that?
No, we would watch one person go and then the other one would go.
Okay.
So we really treated it just like the day. I was like, okay, you're going to go first on Saturday, then I'll go.
Okay.
Because the masters are after the
Hey,
standard.
that's dialed
we
in
totally
right
treated
there.
it like
That's
that.
prep.
And then we would give ourselves some rest time, and sometimes we'd push it and not give ourselves quite as much rest time. But just trying to like kind of get a real time feel of what it was like. And just so our bodies knew how to adapt, so because sometimes when we come in and just do one of the workouts, like the third workout on the first day, just that one alone, you would kill it. But then you do the mock day and that's your third workout of the day. And you realize, oh, I'm kind of tired from the other one. So, so we would kind of just do different ways of strategizing and kind of working through each workout. As far as fuel, definitely increased the proteins, or actually the carbs and fats because I was hungry all the time. We were working out constantly, kind of upping that intensity over time. So yeah, they laughed because I was like, gosh, I'm always so hungry. And I was just always eating. But I was all about that carb loading.
Yeah,
I needed it for energy.
Well, think about it. Members that start working out really hard with us too, when they're not used to such a demanding style of training, they get hungrier too. And they're like, why am I so hungry all the time? It's like, because that's your body telling you, I need food. What kind of carbohydrates were you eating? Like your body's screaming at you, I need food, right? You need good carbs, and you need, to recover with protein. Right. So what were you eating? What was the additions to the diet?
I would eat a lot of oatmeal. Love my oatmeal. Overnight oats for sure.
Would you do anything special to them, or you just like put them in almond milk and put them in the fridge, or you put them in water, put them in the fridge?
Yeah, almond milk. Our Ripple is kind of like a plant-based milk, sort of, and with some strawberries.
Yeah, my kids drink.
Oh,
Ripple.
yeah?
Pea protein.
Me too. Yeah, it's really good. With the strawberries and oatmeal. So just straight like that, maybe a drizzle with maple syrup.
And does like the strawberry like what's it called? Like secrete the sugar and like start to get, does it?
Yes.
Yeah, so it makes it sweet.
Delicious. We've gotten a lot of people on it, so they all love it. And I did some eggs and sweet potatoes. Sometimes like a runny egg over sweet potato. That was always good. I've eaten a lot of bananas. Loving the bananas.
Yeah. Those are portable too. And
that's
like,
right.
You can just crush them after a workout.
Throw in my bag. Yeah.
It's got a lot of potassium, so you don't cramp.
That's right. So I'd always eat it. Man, the days that I would
find you with a protein shake and a banana.
That's
just
right.
Doing a
the days I would train
workout.
early in the morning, and then I knew I would train for the games. I mean, I was just constantly eating. I would eat a bagel on the way to work, and then I'd eat a bar at some point, in the middle of the morning. Then I'd have oatmeal, and this was like all before 7 a.m.
Yeah,
I was just constantly hungry, and then getting ready to train myself later.
Well, I think it's so important. So you don't have to show off. I'm not going to put you in like on the spot right now. But if you go back and you watch some of those athlete games workouts that you did, I mean, it's like in your composition of your body, it shows. And I've seen it grow. Like I've seen the composition of your body grow. And so a lot of people think when you eat those things that you're describing, that, if you eat those things that you're describing and you don't train,
right,
it's a much different scenario than if you're really working hard, taxing your muscle, getting to hypertrophy, getting to failure, completely, wearing yourselves out. It's the muscle fatigue. It's the micro tear. Like you want to rip your muscles apart, and you got to feed them that stuff to build it back up. And it's not, so how many calories do you think that you eat in a day during training, and then maybe like just normally? Because when you say I train in the morning and then I do an athlete game, what you really are saying is I go to camp and I do a 45-minute camp.
Right.
And then I go do another 10-minute camp, basically.
That's right.
On top of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't tracking my calories at the time, but definitely like 2,000 plus for sure.
Yeah. And I just think I knew it was, and I was just like interested to hear you say it out loud, because so many people that are listening, like so many of our members even think 2,000 calories. Oh my goodness, like I can't eat 2,000 calories. Well, I need to have 1,200. It's like. Yeah, maybe if you're 130 pounds, you need 1,200 if you never work out.
That's right.
Right? But if you work out and you're 120 pounds, you need 2,000 calories over time. Not right away. You build up to it.
That's right.
But anyways, I think it's just interesting to hear how you're like crafting your whole game plan strategy for training.
Yes, trial and error, and in really feeling how is my body feeling throughout training. Am I feeling low energy, or is this like actually giving me energy to sustain me throughout my workout? So I really try to pay attention to that as well.
What was your favorite workout from the games?
Favorite workout was on the chin.
On the chin?
For sure, yeah. So that was the 20 chin-ups for time.
Oh, yeah. That was most people's least favorite, I hear. Especially in these interviews, as I'm interviewing you for winners. Yeah. Yes. That was markedly the least favorite.
Well,
why was it your favorite?
It was my favorite because, ironically, the year before, I made a commitment that I was going to work on pull-ups and chin-ups every single week for the entire year. So when that workout came out, I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I was really pumped because I was doing max reps of chin-ups and pull-ups every single week. And so I'd gotten up to 15 reps, and they were slow reps. So I knew for the on the chin, since it was 20 for time, I said, I'm doing 15 slow reps. So obviously if I speed it up a little bit, I think I can get 20. So that one worked out really well for me. And it was nice to have one workout that you really looked forward to, that you felt like it was your strength workout, you know, as far as just your strong one. Because everybody's going to have their one that they really look forward to, and then the one that they're like, oh, I'm going to have to dig a little deeper for this one. So
That was the smokestack for you?
Actually, it was bucked up for me.
Okay, all right. That's a long. That was a long one, yeah.
That was a long one. It was a grind for sure, and lit my legs on fire. And yes, I think the longer workouts, you know, in the middle of them, you just start questioning yourself. You're like, oh man, and that was 4 rounds. So you get through round 1, you're okay. Round 2, you're starting to feel it. Round 3 is just brutal because you know you still have another round. And round 4, you're just ready to be done.
What do you tell yourself when it's like the most brutal?
To keep moving, do not stop. Although I think I did stop. I think I did take a little shakeout. But I try to stay moving in it, because if I can just move through it, you know, that is just going to help me. Because as soon as I take one break, I'm going to want to take another break and another break. And yeah, I think it's just building that that mental toughness.
Well, it's that competition that we preach, right? It's you versus you. And when our members walk in the door every day, that's what we want, right? We want you to show up and to say, hey, I'm going to put everything on the line right here. Everything that I desire is going, and all the intensity in which I desire it is going to go into this workout right now. And it's like 45 minutes, and that's it. And if you do it really hard and with intention, you try not to break, and you know, and then you don't judge yourself for breaking when you do. That's why we have the 5-second rule, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now go. Like breathe a couple times and get after it. That is the very nucleus of why Burn Boot Camp is successful and what the Athlete Games represents for our members. Like, they're watching you go after it like that. They're more inspired to then do that in their workouts. Have you seen that in Elizabeth, since you and Gabby have brought home the crown?
Oh, our members are amazing. The way that they push themselves, and they always rise up to what we ask of them, and they're just awesome. Like, I mean, yes, I always see
They were going wild upstairs.
They were just fantastic in the way that they just cheered for us and were there for us. I mean, it touched me. I think so many times I just cried, because I was just like, wow. Just the way that you guys have supported us and believed in us, they're amazing. So yeah, and we've absolutely seen them kind of rise up and push themselves even a little bit further every single time, especially after the games. It's just, I don't know, it's just this new energy in the gym. Everybody's ready to get after it, set new goals for themselves, and we love watching it. So.
You guys are certainly inspiring. I mean, I've watched back now the Athlete Games videos, the live streams. They're the full day live streams, right? But you can scrub through them, and you can see the different games and when they start, and with the graphics on the screen, you can kind of navigate your way around. Have you gotten a chance to go back and watch any footage?
Yes. Yeah, Gabby and I watched them together. It's awesome to watch it, and especially to kind of just see ourselves and kind of knowing what we're thinking throughout each part, and then, you know, hearing Wendy and Trish talk through it, and watching our members, and then, you know, seeing shots of your family cheering you on. It was just indescribable. It was just, what an experience.
So your family was there.
Yes.
And so I want you to let the audience know who your family is really quickly, and what happened the moment that on the uncle workout, the moment you knew that you won, what was going through your head when you guys mobbed each other?
Yes. Okay, so I'm married 17 years to my husband, Ben, and he's just been my steady, I call him my steady Eddie, throughout this entire competition. I mean, he's always just helping me through, especially when I can start to kind of get in my own head. He tells me, he's like, you know, Leslie, you just got to lock in here, or he helps me with my form, and he always just stays calm, even when I can start to be like, oh my gosh, you know, I can get worked up on something or get down on myself. He just kind of, it's just my steady constant. And then my son has just been all about it. He's been so excited about it from the very get-go, and just, Mom, you're going to do it again, right? You've got to do it. You and Gabs, you got to win. So he loves just watching us and cheering us on. And then it's funny, my daughter, she seems like semi-interested. However, it was really cool, because after the games were over, she had to write a poem for her 4th grade class. And I didn't even know this until a couple of weeks ago, but she told me, she said, "Mom, guess what? I decided to write my poem about you and Gabby winning the competition." I was like, "Really?" Oh. And so I'm so excited to see it. I keep telling her, I was like, "I want to see your poem," but she hasn't been able to show it to me yet. But I thought that was really cool too. But yeah, so the moment I won, I just fell to the ground. I was done. I was tired, but it was so cool. They all came out and just toppled on top of me. It was like Gabs and Ben arrived, and then Quinn, and then Ben made his way out, and they were all around me, and it was just such an awesome moment for all of them to be there. And they were just like, "You did it, you did it." And I think they've known how hard we've all worked, over these past few years.
You did it.
So yeah,
you did it. Let's go.
Yeah.
So the question is, and I think I already know the answer, but
yes.
Are you going to compete next year?
I
are you coming
think
back?
so. I mean, kind of got the bug now, right?
Yeah, right. And you and Gabby, and she basically already committed for you. So.
Oh, did she? Okay.
No,
yeah.
she didn't. She didn't.
I was like, oh gosh.
No, she didn't. She didn't. But I would imagine that you guys are going to come back, defend your title, and I look forward to seeing it. I'm so excited. Anything else that you'd want to say to your family, anybody that supported you, to your members, to yourself, to the audience that wasn't there? Get 30 seconds. Give them a little of your trainer voice over the mic here.
Oh gosh.
And motivate us, because we want to be like you, man. We want to we want to work hard. We want to put it in. We want to exercise. We want to take care of ourselves and our family. We want to be example.
Okay. Well, I would say, listen, your goals don't have to have a timeline, because I set a goal back in 2020. I wanted to make it to top 16. Did I make it then? No. Did I make it in 2021? No. But I finally made it in 2022. And so if you don't reach your goals at the time that you think you're going to reach them, just know that you haven't reached them yet, right? And you're making progress towards them. And so everybody keep that in mind, no matter, what that goal might be, okay? Just keep making progress, one foot in front of the other. And just a shout out to all of our Elizabeth members. You guys were amazing. Just the way you've shown up for both Gabby and me throughout this entire competition, all these years. You guys are incredible, and you inspire us to push, because we watch you guys do it every day, and we watch you push yourself outside your comfort zone. And then shout out to my family, who has just been so supportive and so awesome throughout all of my training. And then shout out to Gabs, because she's just been my number one supporter. She never has given up on me, and has believed in me from the get-go, and knew I would get here. And that just, obviously really touches me and touches my heart. And it's just a special bond that we have together as just training partners and friends. And, she's like my little sister. So, yeah.
Leslie Eddy, everybody, 2022 Masters Division
Woo!
Female Champion. Let's go. Hey, make sure you guys subscribe, flex on that subscribe button. This is the Burn Bootcamp podcast. We are out, okay? You want to take us out today? Two claps on two?
2 claps on 2. 1, 2.